So is my screen visible to you? Screen కనిపిస్తుంది మీకు? Hello.
Yeah,
Okay. So in the last class we have covered. I have shown to you the system also. We have seen, right, this entire cycle from checking planning file entry to metric one calculation, this procurement quantity calculation, scheduling, this procurement proposal generation, BOM execution. So everything I have shown you by running MRP in the system. Okay. So is that clear, or do you have any questions or doubts regarding that? Okay. This already we have discussed. So there are some specific concepts are there, like lot size procedure, and there are few different procurement types are there. This I'll tell you. These two things now I'll explain to you. So here, so there is a lot size procedure concept is there. This lot size, where do we maintain this lot size? Any idea? When you are creating a material master, no?
MRP 2.
Okay. MRP 1 will be maintained. Okay. Lot size. Okay. So here, what is our lot size we are maintaining? That is the EX. Okay. For practice purpose, you are maintaining as EX. So coming to this lot size, no, there are different kind of processor there. One is static processor, periodic processor, and optimum processor. So these different lot size, no, based on the requirement, we can use. Static lot size is nothing but, so here no, you can use lot for lot order quantity, nothing but for how much quantity the shortage is come, for the same quantity exactly the procurement proposal will get generated. For example, of net requirement calculation, let us assume the shortage quantity is 100. So for the whatever the shortage quantity is coming as a result, no, for that much quantity only system will generate the either planned order or purchase equation. If you select this lot for lot order. For this, technically in SAP we use it as a EX. Okay. And there is a fixed lot size, irrespective of your shortage quantity, right? So if you maintain some fixed lot size quantity, when this fixed lot size quantity will comes into the requirement, no? If suppose if you are in case of procurement procuring materials from the suppliers, no, some suppliers, no, they will be having some minimum order quantity. So suppose even if your shortage quantity or requirement quantity is, let us say some 50 quantity, for example, 50 quantity is your requirement quantity. But as per the supplier conditions, terms and conditions, so there should be some minimum order quantity. So let us say in the market, no, some products or some suppliers, they'll be having their what do you call, delivery conditions. So minimum this much quantity only they can able to deliver it. So in such cases, no, if that kind of requirement comes, then you need to select this fixed lot size. For example, if my requirement quantity is 50, but in the market the supplier can deliver only minimum 50, minimum 100 quantity. So in that case, no, as per the net requirement calculation, if the shortage quantity comes less than 100, okay. So in such cases, system what it will do, by using this fixed lot size quantity 100, even though our requirement or shortage quantity is 50, system will generate the procurement proposal for 100 quantity. Why? Because we have maintained as a fixed lot size 100 quantity. That is based on the requirement, client requirement. So if such kind of requirement comes, no, then we need to choose this fixed lot size. And apart from this fixed lot size, there is another two functionalities are there: minimum lot size and maximum lot size. That is also based on the requirement. So if there is any minimum order, maximum order quantity will be there, right, to suppliers. So when you are placing a PO to the suppliers, there should be some minimum quantity. Even you can use the minimum lot size also functionality also, or maximum lot size. Some suppliers, no, they may say, so their minimum quantity is 1,000, their maximum deliverable quantity is 10,000. Example I'm telling. If the procurement proposal quantity, that means after MRP run, If your requirement is less than 100, even though if the requirement is less than 100, it will generate minimal to the minimal lot size quantity. Sometimes if your requirement quantity is more than your maximum lot size quantity, that means maximum how much that particular supplier can deliver. If that case, no, it will not generate more than that requirement. It will restrict. Okay. So based on the scenario, we need to use this criteria. Okay. So this is a part of static process. So there is one more concept is here: replenishment up to maximum stock level. So this normally, no, I think industries they won't use this. I never come across actually. This is replenishment up to maximum stock level means so whatever the maximum stock level they are having in their warehouse or storage location. So up to that level, up to that stock level, no, they can have a plan. For example, right, if my requirement quantity is 1,000, okay, so let us say my storage capacity in the plant is for this particular material 2,000. In such cases, if the client requirement is, even though the actual requirement is 1,000, based on their maximum stock level, no, if they wanted to procure it, then we can choose this functionality replenishment up to maximum stock. But most of the this is not a best practice in the industry. Okay, so these two scenarios, this means these two functionalities will be used based on the requirement. But this most of the industries they will not follow this practice. Okay, so if there is any specific requirement to the client, then you can choose this option replenishment up to maximum stock. Is this clear? The static procedure. And do you have any questions or doubts? Okay. So the next one is periodic procedure. So here the periodic procedure, right? Period is nothing but in terms of days. So either it could be daily or weekly or monthly or for a specific period. Okay, we can customize this period also. Suppose if the requirement is, for example, let us say, I'll give you an example. Let's say this is one example, a simple example. Okay. See, if you see what did you notice here? So in both this is one bill of material for one finished product. This is another bill of material for this another finished product. Okay. So in this both the bill of materials. Okay. So there are these two raw materials are raw material one, raw material two are commonly used. Okay. So here what will happen? So when I run MRP for this for the finished product one, let us assume there is a requirement quantity for 100. For this also let us say 100. Okay. And for here let us say some 50. 50. For this two raw materials I'm telling. Okay. So in this case, what will happen when I run MRP? Okay, based on the requirement dates and all. So let us take this is required on suppose 10th June, and here also same date requirement is there for both the bill of materials. Okay, for 10th June, as per this bill of material requirement, I require 100 quantity for this bill of material and raw material to 100 quantity for this bill of material. And similarly, same raw material is required 50 quantity for this bill of material, another bill of material on 10th itself. And for this second raw material also required same on the same date 50 quantity for the another bill of material. So in this case, right, if I use this lot for lot order quantity example, system will generate separate purchase requisition for this RM1 period 1 for this 100. Okay, another period for this RM2. Okay, so here also separate period will be generated for this 50 and for this 50, the second raw material. Okay. So since my requirement date is same for the same materials, raw material 1, raw material 2, okay, I have a two different quantities on the same date with different quantity and different purchase equations. So in this case, suppose if the business wants to don't if they don't want to have a two separate purchase equations for the same material requirement on the same date. Okay, so in that case, instead of having multiple purchase equations on the same date requirement, no, for let us say RM1 for now. This I'm deleting this to give some. Let us take this RM1. Okay. So on the same date, I don't want to have a multiple purchase equation for the same material with different quantity. So I wanted to club both the requirements into single period on the same day. So in that case now, if I select this lot for lot at quantity X, will it address this requirement or not? No, right? So are you able to follow me, or do you have any questions or doubts?
Can you repeat? ఒకసారి రిపీట్ చేసింది సరిగా
రిపీట్ చేయనా? సో హియర్ నో, ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే ఎగ్జాంపుల్, సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అంటే ఈ రా మెటీరియల్ వన్ ఉంది కదా, రా మెటీరియల్ వన్ అనేది ఈ ఫినిష్ మెటీరియల్ 1 బిల్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం. సిమిలర్ గా ఇంకొక ఫినిష్ మెటీరియల్ సెకండ్ ఫినిష్ మెటీరియల్ బిల్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్ కూడా యూజ్ చేస్తాం, సేమ్ రా మెటీరియల్. నేను ఫస్ట్ టైం ఎంఆర్పి రన్ చేస్తాను దీన్ని. ఇక్కడ ఎంఆర్పి రన్ చేస్తాను ఫస్ట్ టైం. ఫస్ట్ టైం రన్ చేస్తాను, ఇక్కడ ఎంఆర్పి రన్ చేస్తాను. నాకేమవుతుందంటే నేను ఫస్ట్ టైం ఎంఆర్పి రన్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ దీనికి ఏమవుతుంది, ఈ మిగతా మెటీరియల్స్ తో పాటు రా మెటీరియల్ వన్ కూడా నా రిక్వైర్మెంట్ క్వాంటిటీ 100 అనుకుంటే 100కి పర్చేజ్ ఈక్వెషన్ జనరేట్ అయింది. ఓకే, సో 100 జనరేట్ అయినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ఒక పర్చేజ్ ఈక్వెషన్ ఉంటుంది. దీని రిక్వైర్మెంట్ డేట్ లెట్ us say June 10th అనుకుంది ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇది ఒక డేట్. సో నేను ఇది సెకండ్ బిల్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్ కూడా ఎంఆర్పి రన్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ కూడా నాకు సేమ్ రా మెటీరియల్ యూజ్ చేస్తుంది ఈ బిల్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్, అంటే ఇది కామన్ రా మెటీరియల్. అలాంటప్పుడు నాకు ఏమవుతుంది, సెకండ్ ఎంఆర్పి రన్ చేసినప్పుడు 50 క్వాంటిటీ నాకు రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఉంది యాజ్ పర్ దిస్ బిల్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఉన్నప్పుడు దీని రిక్వైర్మెంట్ డేట్ కూడా నాకు 10th వచ్చింది. 10th వచ్చింది. 10th ఒక పర్చేజ్ సెకండ్ పర్చేజ్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ జనరేట్ అవుతుంది. సో నాకు క్లయింట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే, నాకు సేమ్ డేటు సేమ్ మెటీరియల్ రా మెటీరియల్ రెండు పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఉంది. పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ 1 ఉంది, పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ 2 ఉంది. సేమ్ డేట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ విత్ డిఫరెంట్ క్వాంటిటీస్. ఎందుకంటే నేను ఇది జనరేట్ చేస్తుంది. ఎందుకు, ఎలా జనరేట్ చేస్తుంది, ఇక్కడ మెయింటైన్ చేసే లాట్ సైజ్ బట్టి. బట్ క్లయింట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఏంటంటే, నాకు ఇలా రెండు పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ జనరేట్ అవ్వద్దు, సేమ్ రా మెటీరియల్ కి ఆన్ సేమ్ డేట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఉంటే నాకు ఈ రెండు క్లబ్ అయ్యి సింగిల్ పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ జనరేట్ అవ్వాలి, రెండు క్లబ్ అయ్యి. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తామంటే దీన్ని డైలీ, ఇక్కడ డైలీ లాట్ సైజ్ మనం డైలీ లాట్ సైజ్ డిఫైన్ చేస్తే ఏమంటే, సేమ్ డేట్ ఉంది కదా 10th June. 10th June కి పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ 1 పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ 2 బదులు ఒక సింగిల్ పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ జనరేట్. ఇది ఫస్ట్ ఇది పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ జనరేట్ అవుతుంది కదా ఫస్ట్ ఎంఆర్పి రన్ చేసినప్పుడు, సెకండ్ టైం మళ్ళీ రన్ చేసినప్పుడు సెకండ్ పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ జనరేట్ అవ్వకుండా ఇదే పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ క్వాంటిటీ దీనిలోకి యాడ్ అవుతుంది. ఈ పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ 1 ఏదైతే ఉందో ఇక్కడ క్లబ్ అవుతుంది. సో టోటల్ 150 క్వాంటిటీకి ఒక పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ జరుగుతుంది. ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ జనరేటింగ్ టూ డిఫరెంట్ పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ విత్ టూ డిఫరెంట్ క్వాంటిటీ ఫర్ ద సేమ్ మెటీరియల్. సో ఇలాంటి రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలంటే, మనం ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తాం, డే వైజ్ అంటే డైలీ నథింగ్, ఆ పర్టికులర్ డేకి ఎన్నైతే రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ వస్తున్నాయో కామన్ మెటీరియల్ యూజ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ మొత్తాన్ని క్లబ్ చేసి ఒక సింగిల్ పర్చేజ్ రిక్వెస్ట్ జనరేట్ చేస్తాం. ఇది పీరియాడిక్ లాట్ సైజ్ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే డైలీ అయితే డైలీ మనం క్లబ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, లేకపోతే వీక్లీ అయితే వీక్లీ క్లబ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సపోజ్ మల్టిపుల్ వీక్స్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, సేమ్ వీక్ లో సేమ్ మెటీరియల్ డిఫరెంట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, అప్పుడు మనకి ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఆ వీక్ మొత్తం ఏదైతే వీక్ ఉందో ఆ వీక్ మొత్తాన్ని క్లబ్ చేస్తాం. ఆ వీక్ మొత్తం రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ క్లబ్ చేసి ఒక సింగిల్ పిఆర్ జనరేట్ చేస్తాం. సిమిలర్గా మనకి ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ మల్టిపుల్ ఆప్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. వీక్లీ కానీ మంత్లీ కానీ లేకపోతే ఒక ఫ్లెక్సిబుల్ పీరియడ్ కూడా మనం సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఎవరీ 2 వీక్స్ కానీ ఎవరీ 3 వీక్స్ కానీ అలా మన రిక్వైర్మెంట్ లాట్ సైజ్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకో కస్టమైజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఇది పీరియాడిక్ లాట్ సైజ్ ప్రొసెసర్. Based on this large size processor, the requirements will be clubbed and will generate a single period. Okay. Clear? Okay, doubts sir.
Clear.
ఎందుకంటే ఇది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. మనకి ఇక్కడ ప్రతిదీ కూడా ఏంటంటే ఇవన్నీ ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ పాయింట్ అర్థం చేసుకునే ఏమవుతుందంటే మన క్లయింట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఎలా ఉన్నా కానీ మనం అడ్రస్ చేయగలుగుతాం దానికోసం. నెక్స్ట్ వచ్చి ఆప్టిమమ్ ప్రొసీజర్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఈ జనరల్గా ఎక్కడ యూజ్ చేయము మనం. నేను ఇంతవరకు అయితే ఎక్కడ యూజ్ చేయలేదు. ఓకే, ఇదంతా రిక్వైర్మెంట్ రాదు. పార్ట్ పీరియడ్ ప్రొసీజర్, లీస్ట్ యూనిట్ కాస్ట్ ప్రొసీజర్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఇక్కడ రేర్ కూడా కాదు, జనరల్ యూజ్ చేయలేదు. జస్ట్ ఇది బట్ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ ఉంది, బట్ ఐ నెవర్ యూజ్ దిస్. వీ కెన్ ఇగ్నోర్ దిస్. జస్ట్ యూ నీడ్ టు ఫోకస్ ఆన్ దిస్ టూ, స్టాటిక్ ప్రొసీజర్స్ అండ్ పీరియాడిక్ లాట్ సైజ్. These two are very important. And next important topic is, so the procurement types, right? So earlier we have discussed only two types of procurement. One is in-house procurement, another one is external procurement. Apart from these two, we have some additional procurement types. So those are actually, there is a stock transfer, production in other plant, subcontracting, like this. So these are the different production, the procurement process actually. So this is related to this production in another plant and the subcontracting. The subcontracting is purely related to MM, but here no. So our involvement also will be there to create the subcontracting bill of material. For example, right? Just I'll give a few examples. Stock transfer is nothing but no. Suppose the stock transfers, we have two types. స్టాక్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్లో మనకు రకాలు ఉంటాయి. ఎందుకంటే జనరల్గా మనకి ఏదైనా ఇండస్ట్రీ చూసినప్పుడు ఎలాంటి ఇండస్ట్రీ తీసుకున్నా కానీ స్టాక్ ఎలా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుందంటే, ఒకటి సినారియో అవ్వచ్చు, ఎస్లాక్ టు ఎస్లాక్ is nothing but store location. So in SAP you call it as a SLOC. So most of the screens now you can see the naming convention is SLOC. SLOC means storage location. Okay. And scenario 2 is so these two scenarios will come. Okay. So depending on the requirement. So sometimes this is within the same plan. For this we don't need to worry about this. Suppose no, if you want to transfer a stock from main stores to some production department, then you can transfer it, or from one department to another department also you can do the stock transfer. That means store location is store location. This is general process. But here the plant to plant is there. No? Plant to plant means if the same company is having multiple plants in different locations. So in that case, no, different locations means it is moving out of the exist one plant premises to another plant premises. So here you need to define the special procurement type. So your plant is your, what is your planning plan and what is your production plan, or what is your procurement plan and what is your production plan. So that kind of information you need to define. This I'll show you in the system. This is one scenario, and here itself we have another scenario. Suppose this we call it as a stock transfer. ST goes from intra-company ST. So within the same company, this is actually no, this comes under MM actually most of the scenario. But here our role is just to understand how this will work from planning perspective. Suppose here what is happening, no? In this scenario, I am transferring from plant. This is what I say. 2. So let us say from plant is 1000, to plant is 1100. Then how does this plant comes to know whether this particular material, this particular X material has to transfer from plant 1000 to plant 1100. So here now there will be a requirement from this plant 1100. The requirement will be passed to this 1000 plant. So based on that requirement, say, from plant 1000 to the material will be transferred to plant 1100. So this is called as intra-company STU. STU means stock transfer order. Intra-company STU process. That means within the same company, we are transferring from one plant to another plant. This is purely related MM. Just from planning perspective, we should be knowing how the requirements will be coming from this plant to this plant. Okay. This we will address by using a special procurement type. Special procurement. Okay. So these are the one type of, these are two different scenarios. This is standard scenario. So within the same plant, if you are transferring from one store location to another store location, this is straightforward. We don't need to worry about this. But this is another important scenario from planning perspective. So here, this is the planning for the plant and this is the supplying plant. So here the requirement will be passed to this plant in terms of STU, intra-company STU. So against this intra-company STU order, from this plant to the material will be transferred to this plant. Okay. For this, we will maintain some special procurement type in the material master that I'll show you. Okay, this is one scenario regarding this stock transfer. So subcontracting is there. Subcontracting also. So by this special procurement type, as I told, right? So all these types of procurement, no, will maintain the special procurement type. So what is the special procurement type of the subcontracting? The subcontracting relevant procurement type will maintain this special procurement type. Subcontracting is nothing but what? What do you understand by subcontracting? Any idea? Subcontract.
Vendor will give contract to some other vendor.
Hmm. What? Okay.
Second
What is
stage.
the? Okay. So what is the difference between direct procurement and subcontracting?
Procurement is directly purchasing from the particular vendor.
Very good. Okay. What is subcontracting?
Subcontract is giving a order contract to some other manufacturer or vendor for
Hmm.
some particular order. Which we receive.
So he just I'll explain about the subcontracting. Subcontracting means no, we will provide the raw material to the vendor, okay, and we will get whatever the semi-finished material or finished material is required, no, from the vendor. So that is called subcontract. So direct procurement means directly we are procuring the material, whatever the material is required, directly we are procuring from the supplier. That is direct procurement. Okay. Just to give you some idea. So this is actually MM related, but as a PP consultant, you should be knowing knowledge. Knowledge is important. Okay. So direct procurement means supplier or vendor, no? Supplier. Raw material. Okay. This is direct procurement. Subcontracting means we will provide the raw material. That means client. And this is required raw material. get the either semi-finished or finished product. Okay. So in this case, what will happen? Client will provide the required raw materials to the supplier. Raw materials to supplier to get the semi-finished product or finished product. That means here raw material is providing by the client, okay, and supplier, that subcontractor, they will use this raw material to manufacture this either semi-finished product or finished product, and after manufacturing it, they will send it back to us. This is the difference. So if this is this kind of scenario is there, no, then we need to choose this special procurement type as a subcontract. This I'll show in the system. What is the special procurement type for the subcontracting? What is the special procurement type for this intercompany estimation? I'll show you. This is one thing. And another thing is planning plant is different. Production in other plant. Short. Production in other plant. Production. So in this case, what will happen? Production in other plant means what will happen? Any idea? Production in other plant means so let us say my planning plant is I'm planning for X material X example. Let us say finished material one. I'm planning in 1000 plant. Okay, but actually this material I'm just planning. This material just I'm planning plant 1000, but I'm not manufacturing in 1000 plant. So my manufacturing plant is different. Okay. My manufacturing plant is 1100. Okay. So in this case, how do you plan? Let us assume this is in one location or maybe in the same location also. Maybe different. That is depending on the situation. So let us assume my planning plant is 1000. In 1000 plant, I'm planning for this material FG1. Okay. But my manufacturing activities will be happening in the other plant. I'm using this plant now only for planning purpose. I'm not doing any manufacturing activities. I'm doing manufacturing at other plant level. So in this case, how do you maintain this special procurement type? I'll show. So here there is a configuration for this special procurement type. That special procurement type we will define what is planning plan, what is manufacturing plan, or production. Like this, no, we have multiple scenarios. So you see here, production in other plans, subcontracting, stock transfer. These are the different, no, special procurement types we call this. Okay, this L2. Apart from this, there is a one more special procurement type is that is Phantom assembly. Phantom assembly. So Phantom assembly is nothing but no. Logically, it's a kind of assembly, but physically it is not a assembly part. Let us say when you are placing an order for a desktop, right? So what you will get? If you placed the order for a desktop,
Monitor, CPU, keyboard, mouse.
okay. So all this, what you call? We call it as a one single desktop, right?
Yes.
Okay. But all these monitor, keyboard, CPU, mouse, all these are not a single product.
Different pieces altogether.
All are separate products, but we are getting as a single desktop. So such kind of combinations are called as a phantom assembly. Technically, it is considered as a single product, but physically it is not a single product. So if such kind of products are there, no? So such kind of products are there, we'll consider them as a phantom assembly. Okay. So in this case, the phantom assembly is desktop. So the desktop will be having this CPU, keyboard, mouse, and monitor. Such kind of material comes under phantom assembly. For this, no, to define in the material master, we have to define whether that particular product is a phantom assembly or not. No? We need to define that. For this also, we have a special procurement. So all these special procurement types, I'll show you in the system. Okay. Is this clear or any doubts?
Yes.
If we go to method master, no? 0 to, so this is our method. So where do we maintain this procurement type? The method master. These are very important. You guys have to remember all this. So when you're practicing, no, just try to remember in which view, no, in method master, what data we are maintaining. No? Just try to remember.
MRP2.
MRP2. Very good. This is MRP2. So here now, along with this procurement type, we have a special procurement. Okay. So this I'll explain to you once again. So here, coming to this one by one, one by one I'll explain. Okay. So intercompany STO means this I'll show you. Okay. So intercompany STO means in the special procurement type, if I go to the special procurement type, so here what are the options we have? Whether those options are one special procurement types. Essentially. Okay. So here now, see stock transfer, no? Procurement plan is different. So by selecting this, you can address your requirement. So here now you can see this is standard SAP providing, right? By referring this 40 special procurement type, I'll show you the customization. So in the real time, no, this plan codes might be different. So we need to assign the required plan codes as per the project requirement. So this is as per standard SAP. This is the special procurement type for stock transfer from one plan to another plan. So I'll show you in the configuration. So based on the requirement, how to customize this special procurement. If I go to SPRO, so here what is our node? Any idea? Production. So we are discussing about procurement types. If I go to this is a part of metal equipment planning. Okay. Under this metal equipment planning, you can see the master data. Here there is a defined special procurement. Just if you want to understand more clearly, definitions and all, if you want to know, you can go through this definition. Click on this documentation. It will tell you what is this. In this step, you define the special procurement key, which as well as procurement type control the procurement as storage materials. The procurement type always refer to a procurement type. You can now also define how the system treats the material as a component during the bomb explosion is the control. These are the multiple examples. Okay? You can see here. Special procurement type example. You can go through this just to understand. Actually, regarding this runtime errors and the text-based document pop is coming, right? So he's that service provider has told me he will try to fix by end of today. If not possible, if not able to fix it, no. So he's going to provide the new service. Just let us see today and tomorrow. If these issues have been fixed by end of tomorrow, then it is fine. Otherwise, no, from next week onwards, he will provide the new server with the same database. He said, but let us see how it works. within the current planning, master data, special procurement type. Under the special procurement type, this is an actual plant specific we have to customize. So our plant, let's say 1,000 is our plant, current user. In real time, no, what are the new plant you are going to create, right? For that plant, by default, all the settings will get copied. Okay. This you need to ensure that whether the settings have been copied properly or not, and as per the requirement, no, the other parameters have been maintained. That we need to ensure that. Let us say for this plant 1,000, if you see the special procurement type 40, right? Stock transfer from plant 1100. Select this and click on these details. So here you can see the parameters. So this is nothing but you are procuring from outside. That means external, from other plant, right? So the procurement type should be external procurement. Okay, this is a special procurement stock transfer view, and from which plant you are procuring. Okay, that plant code. So in real time, the plant code might be different. Okay. So based on your requirement, you need to define your plant. This is one type of special procurement type. So with this combination, whenever you are defining your material master, so this is a combination. Procurement type and special procurement type is a combination. Okay, this is very, very important. You can see here. Procurement type is F, special procurement type is 40. So when you are defining this material master for that kind of requirement, you have to maintain this procurement type as F and special procurement type as a 40 with that combination. And coming to our example, this is one setting for this intercompany STO, and this is straightforward. So subcontracting is right. Subcontracting means there is a special procurement type for this subcontracting. Subcontracting is also external procurement, right? So here, so 30, generally it is 30, not 31, somebody has created. So generally, as per standard SAP, it is a 30. 30 is a subcontracting special procurement type. For this, since it is an external procurement, right? So we are sending raw material to the subcontractor, and he will be sending back to the back to us the semi-finished product or finished product. So that means it's a kind of external procurement only. That means procurement type is F, and for the subcontracting, we have to define as a the this special procurement here I'll show. For this 30, for this 30 subcontractor, if you go to the details, procurement type is F, okay? And the special procurement type is L. This is important. This is a subcontract. Earlier it is a U, that is for stock transfer. For subcontracting, it is a. This is a customization. Based on this customization only, this functionalities will be. This functionalities will be. Okay? And similarly for production in another plan. So production in another plan means here I'll show. There's a requirement. This 8 is right. Production in L plant and everything. We click on these details now. So production in other plant is it's a kind of in-house production only, but it is manufacturing different. If you see the special procurement type is P here. This is production from other plant. So based on these settings, this requirement will be addressed. Similarly for phantom assembly also. You see the phantom assembly. This checkbox will be flat. You go to this. See, this is a special procurement type is here, and it's a phantom item. So in the interviews, right? So they may ask you. So what is the so how do you identify a metal is a phantom assembly or not? So if the in the metal master, if the procurement type is B and special procurement type is 50, right? So that means this particular metal is a phantom assembly. And how do you know whether that particular metal is subcontracting metal or not? Then here the metal procurement type is F. This is a combination, I'll tell you. Okay. So now I'll show you the system. Spreadsheet. For the subcontracting, right? It's a combination of procurement type and special procurement type. Special procurement. So this for this combination, right? Subcontracting, if the procurement type is F and subcontracting special procurement type is 30, then it is a subcontract. And here production in other plan. No? So if the procurement type is E and special procurement, what is the production plan? Production in other plan. This is called 80, right? 80. So if it is 80, this is a production in other plan, planning production in other plan. Okay. Phantom assembly means it is a procurement type is E, procurement type is E, special procurement type is 50. So in general, right? They may ask you questions. So how do you identify that material is subcontracting material? So in that case, now you should be able to tell if the procurement type is F and special procurement type is 30, then that material is related to subcontract. And if the material procurement type is E and special procurement type is 80, then it is relevant for production in other plan. And if it is E and 50 combination, that means it is a phantom assembly. These are very, very important questions in the interview. Okay, just try to remember these combinations. Okay. So is this clear?
Yes, sir. One doubt.
Yeah.
Production in other plant.
Hmm.
In 80 and 90 also have similar plants. Two different plants in other plants. Category.
This is direct production plant.
90.
This is sorry, 90. Yeah.
Production in plant 1200.
Yeah, this is combination, Santosh. So this is one combination. Suppose if you see this is a production in 1100 plant. Okay, this is a production in 1200 plant, different. Production plant is different. In that case, you need to define multiple. So that is depending on the requirement. Either 80, generally that's what here 80 or 90, whatever it is. Just technically, no, you can say 80. That there is no need to worry about that. Even 90 means if 90, I'll show you. Here the production plant is different. Here the production plant is 1100 for this 80. If I go to the 90, production plant is 1200. So this is one combination of scenario. This is one combination, and another combination also might be there. If the planning plant might be same, production planning might be different for the another product. For example, let us say FG2. My planning plant is 1000, but my production plant is 1200. So in this case, your doubt is no, either you have to tell 80 or 90, right?
Yes. Whether they
That is your doubt,
both
no?
are
Yeah.
similar or not.
You can tell anyone, either 80 or 90, it is fair. Generally, this question will not ask because this is specific to the particular manufacturing plant. So if they would have asked, either you can tell 80 or 90. That is depending on the requirement. We will customize the required production plan. You can say. Is that clear, Sandesh?
Yeah, okay.
This is fine. Now with this, now we have completed this different MRP procedures. Okay. So we have covered all these topics. Okay. So there is one more small point is there. This prerequisites already we have discussed. Okay. This I'll show you once. So for this we need to activate MRP setup planning file. Now initially I have explained that these are the prerequisites. We call it as a prerequisites. So in the interviews, no, if somebody would have asked me from interview perspective, I have prepared this slide. Already I have told you in the beginning. So when we are activating this, when you are starting this MRP, we need to activate this MRP and setup planning file. So these are the prerequisites. from configuration perspective and master data perspective, we need to specify the valid MRP tab in the material master. These are the prerequisites from MRP run perspective. So if somebody would have asked in the interview, you should be able to answer this question. Okay. With this, we have covered all this topic, material requirement planning, complete topic. And in the next topic, before moving to the next topic, so do you have any questions? In the next topic, so what are the different MRP methods we have? I will explain to you. Is this clear? Any doubts? Okay, so let me go to the next topic. So in this, these are the what are the different execution methods we have in MRP? We'll see. So here, if you see, right, we can run MRP at online. We can run MRP in the background. We can run MRP at single item level. We have a different functionality in the scope of planning. And we have a different MRP procedures. That means we have a different MRP control parameters and with different procedures. All these things we will cover in this topic. Let me show you one more. So yesterday in the last class, I run MRP, that is by using single item multi-level. So that means for one finished material and their bill of material components. That is one part of this execution method. Single item planning, multi-level components. It means I ran MRP at finished product level. For all the bill of material components also, MRP has been executed. That is a multi-level combination. So here we have different concepts. One is total planning. This total planning is nothing but if you want to run MRP instead of a material one by one material, if you want to run MRP at plant level, the entire plant level, you can go for this total planning. Okay. So this total planning can be executed online. This is one option as a background. Generally, the real time will go for background job. So background job in the sense, so we will schedule a batch job. This is very, very important. Okay. Not only for this MRP, scheduling or creating batch jobs, it's a very important concept in during not only from PP model perspective, from any model perspective, right? Creating a batch job, scheduling a batch job, monitoring the batch jobs, it's very, very important. And here, I will try to cover that. Okay. So in this total planning can be executed online or background job by using background job. Okay, this is one method. And the second method is single item multi-level. This is another method. And third one is single item, single level. Suppose in this case, if you want to run MRP at only for finished product, not for the BOM level, then you can go for this single item, single level. This is single item interactive level. So this is by generating this, by running MRP for multi-level. It's a combination of both multi-level as well as the next level filaments also, right? For them also it will run the MRP. This is a single item interactive. This I will show you. I'll explain more detail. So this is, if you see this planning it total planning, that means it online. Total planning MRP. This is online. Okay, this is background job. This I'll show you the system. Okay, so here what will happen, in this online or background job? Online means it will take a lot of time to complete the MRP. So that is the reason, in the real time we will not run this total planning at online. We will run in the background. So these two process I will explain. Actually, for this online total planning, for this there is a transaction code. background or batch job is called as a batch. For this online, we have a transaction code MD0. Okay. For this, we have a transaction code MDBT. Okay, these are the two different transactions. This I will explain to you. So earlier, no, when I run MRP, what is the transaction code I have used?
MD02 for
MD
make to
zero.
order.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, this is MD02. I'll show you the difference between this MD02 and this MD0. Okay. So this is MD02. Okay. So if I execute MD01, can you just tell me what is the difference between these two? What did you notice? Is there any difference or just same?
Planning
Scope of
date.
planning and materials.
ఏదైనా డిఫరెన్స్ ఉందా ఈ రెండు స్క్రీన్స్ కి?
ఫస్ట్ దాంట్లో మెటీరియల్ based on material we are running the MRP.
రైట్. ఇక్కడ మెటీరియల్ లేదు మనకు MD01. ఇక్కడ టోటల్ ప్లాంట్ లెవెల్, ఈ స్కోప్ ప్లాన్ కూడా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాయి ఏంటంటే తర్వాత. సో ఇక్కడ మనం ప్లాంట్ లెవెల్ ఓన్లీ విత్ ప్లాంట్ లెవెల్. సపోజ్ మనకు ఒక ప్లాంట్ లో 10,000 మెటీరియల్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఎగ్జాంపుల్. నేను 1 by 1 రన్ చేసుకుంటే ఎప్పుడు అవుతుంది? ఎప్పుడు చాలా టైం పడుతుంది. సో దానికోసం ఏం చేస్తారంటే జనరల్గా రియల్ టైంలో, సో ఎంఆర్పి అనేది మెటీరియల్ లెవెల్లో రన్ చేయరు. జస్ట్ ఇదేంటంటే మనకి ఏదైనా ఇష్యూ వచ్చినప్పుడు ఎనాలిసిస్ పర్పస్ రన్ చేస్తారు కానీ, బట్ జనరల్గా ఇది రియల్ టైంలో ఎక్కువ యూజ్ చేయాలి MD0. బట్ రియల్ టైంలో యూజ్ చేసేది MD0. MD01 కూడా ఇదేంటంటే నేను చెప్పాను కదా బ్యాచ్ జాబ్స్ అని ఇంకొక పాయింట్, ఆ బ్యాచ్ జాబ్స్ నుంచి రన్ చేస్తాను. సో MD01కి MDBTకి డిఫరెన్స్ ఏం లేదు, స్క్రీన్ సేమే ఉంటుంది. బట్ MDBT అనేది బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ లో రన్ అవుతుంది. సో దానివల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే మనకి సైకిల్ రన్ టైం ఉంటుంది, రన్ టైం తగ్గుతుంది. సో అది మేజర్ డిఫరెన్స్. ఓకే. సో ఇక్కడ చూస్తే ఇఫ్ యూ సీ here we have a material, that means in this MD02 we can run MRP only for one material. Okay. So here we can run the MRP at plant level. Total how many materials are there in that particular plant now that are which are relevant for MRP. For all MRP related materials, MRP will be carried if you run MRP by using MD0. Okay. This parameter is almost same. Okay. There is a small difference is there. So here the parallel processing, all these things will be there. Here user executive, this I'll explain to you later. Okay. So we have multiple functionalities. Okay. Just let me explain this. So here no, the scope of planning in the MD01 no. So first option is if you want to run for one single plant, you can execute MD01 to run the MRP for a plant level for single plant. Okay. So then these parameters also I'll explain to you shortly. What are these parameters functionality? Each parameter I'll explain. Okay. If you want to run at a plant level, we need to execute the transaction code MD0. Suppose, let us say I have multiple plants. Okay, like 1,000, 1,100, 1,200. I have multiple plants. So in this case, now I have a requirement. Okay. First, I wanted to run MRP for this plant. So after completing this MRP, second, next now after completing the MRP for 1,000 plant, I want to run MRP for this plant. So plant 1,200, so 1,100. Okay. And after 1,100 plant completion, third. Okay. Third. I wanted to run MRP for all these three plants in this sequence. Okay. So if there is this kind of requirement, how do you address? For this, no, in SAP, they have provided a concept called scope of learning. Scope of planning. So in the scope of planning, we will define what is the sequence of plans we want to plan. So in the scope of planning, we'll give some name for this naming convention, some plan. Okay. So by giving some naming convention for the scope planning, and for this we will define the sequence. First 1000 plan. Well, suppose here there is a one disadvantage. If you define this sequence in the scope of planning, if there is any issue in this 1000 plan MRP, right? If some, let us say for some reason the MRP got failed, okay? So then what will happen? It will not continue here. It will not continue for the remaining plans. So until the issue has been fixed for this 1000 plan to run the MRP completion, so this remaining plans will not be started. So that is the reason. That is the one disadvantage actually here. Okay. Suppose most of the cases, this will not get failed. If there is any failure happen, so we need to fix the that respective plant MRP relevant issue, and then again we need to rerun this MRP. So then only for the remaining two plants the MRP will be carried. So here this scope planning I will show you the configuration. Okay. By defining the scope planning, we will assign the scope of, suppose if that is the requirement, the scope of planning has to be entered here. Like let us say, so by entering here, it will run MRP for all these three plants as per the scope of planning. Okay, this I'll show you shortly. Okay. So in this MRP MDG round, right, you can run MRP by entering this data here. This is if you are entering this data in MDG round, it will be online actually. If I run MRP by entering this plant 1000, so it may take a lot of time. That is depending on the volume of the data. Okay, so that is the reason to avoid that. So there is an option to create the background or batch job. We call it as batch jobs or background job. Either any you can use the terminology either batch job or background job. That is up to us. Okay. So actually to create this batch job, I'll show you. When I'm trying to create a batch job by using that MDBT transaction, you can see the same parameters there also. Okay, but only the difference is the execution of this MRP run for the plant level will happen in the background instead of online. So that is only the difference. For this, to create a batch job, is this clear so far? Before I moving into this batch job,
Yes.
this is very important. So this batch job is I'll show this. So here we need to create a variant. So variant is nothing but this is MD0, right? Variant is nothing but For example, I wanted to run with this combination. Okay. So with this combination, I need to create one variant. I'll show you that how to create a variant. Okay. So that means what is the MRP parameters are with this with that combination. First of all, we need to create a variant. So after creating that variant, you need to create a batch job. This I'll show how to create a batch job. Now after creating the batch job, scheduling the batch. Scheduling batch job means, so how do you want to run this batch job? That means this MRP run either daily or whatever the frequency is required, daily or monthly or every 15 days or a specific period. So that period, that scheduling the batch job frequency, we will define this scheduling the batch. So these are the different steps. First, let me show you what is this MDBT. This I'm keeping this screen as this MD. So this MDBT, So as I showed you, right? So first, what is our step one? Create a variant, right? You see here, there is a variant. This is a create variant. This icon is for create action. If you click on this click variant, no, create variant, no, you will ask the some name. Okay. Let's test. Select the plan. What it is displaying? This is same as our MD0, right? This is not same as same MD0 actually. Same. This is MD0 on screen. The same MD0 on screen will display. But here what we are doing, we are creating the required combination. Let us say 1000 plan, 1000 plan. And here with this combination, we wanted to run MRP. So with this combination, we are creating a variant. Just try to remember this, okay? So later you will get more clarity. So after entering the required parameters here, then press enter. So here to ask the variant. This is our variant we create. Stress, okay. Here now, suppose if you want to define your customized values, no required or mandatory, whatever it is, no, you can select the checkbox. This will come to later, but at this moment, I am not explaining all these things. I am creating a variant just now. So with this combination, I have created one variant S test. I will go back. Okay. So here I have created the variant S test. No. Suppose if you want to see what are the parameters you have maintained in this, no, select this variant and click on this change variant. This is a change variant actually. Okay. Click on this change variant. So whatever the parameters you have defined, it will display. So what is the parameter? Plant is 1000. Okay. Processing key is NETCS and other parameters. So 1, 3, 3. What are the parameters you have? Everything is captured here. If you want to change, you can go click on the change values. You can change. Whatever the values you maintain, it will display them. So suppose if you want to make any changes, you can by clicking on this change value, no? By clicking on this change values, you can make the changes. If you feel any changes are required. Okay. So with this combination, we are going to create a one batch job. This is a very way. Yes. So what is our next step? Creating a batch job. So here there are options actually. Suppose this is start immediately means immediately it will start executing this batch job with this variable. Suppose schedule is right. In the schedule, you can schedule this variant. Okay. So schedule means before let me complete this. I will come back to that batch job creation. Directly you can schedule from this variant itself. Okay. Selecting this variable, directly you can schedule this. You click on the schedule. Here it will ask, what is your variant? S test is our variant. Okay. So you wanted to execute from when? So you have to give the date and time. Suppose no, generally, so there are two different types of MRP runs will be there. One is daily MRP run. So for most of the products, this daily MRP run will be executed in the everyday midnight. Okay. So that is one concept. And second is every week or every 2 weeks or every month. That is depending on the batch job schedule. So generally, we have a daily. This MRP run will be there daily or weekly or monthly. If there is any specific frequencies, that also we can configure. So based on the requirement. Generally, in most of the destiny, they will follow daily or weekly or monthly. This is depending on the industry to industry, but most of the badges will be scheduled daily also. Okay. So here we need to define most see regarding this badge jobs, no. So when you are planning that badge job, during that badge job execution, there should not be any activities in the system. That by keeping that in mind, no, this badge jobs will be scheduled. If it is a weekly, let us assume it is a weekly or monthly. Every weekends will be there, right? Holidays, no, weekends will be planned. So let us say this started is, let's say from Sunday. Sunday. Some sound you can generally the actual from 50 or something. This is almost midnight, right? 23:50. So schedule periodical. Schedule once means only one time only this will be executed. Suppose every week, if you want to execute this batch job, no, click on the schedule periodical. So here you can select every month or every week or every 2 months. That is depending on the record. Suppose let us say every week if I give it, so every week, no, then create every week. Okay. That means for every week this will be scheduled. If you want to see the scheduling, you can see the scheduling. So the start date is 8th started Sunday, 23:50 is released and it will be executed. So here now you can see automatically this will get executed. Once this time has arrived, right? So automatically at this time it will start executing, and based on the volume of the data, it will get complete. This is directly you can schedule a batch job by using MDBT. This is one option. So is this clear before moving into creating batch jobs separately? Are any questions or doubts? క్లియరా మీకు ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయి? ఎందుకంటే ఇది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ అర్థం చేసుకోండి. ఒకవేళ డౌట్స్ ఉంటే చెప్తాను మళ్ళీ. హలో.
Yeah, clear, sir. Actually, it will consider only that periodic 7 days or 10 days, whatever you are doing.
Yeah,
So
every
weekly or
7
monthly.
days.
So
It
it will not consider any working day, holidays or any other things, right?
No, it will not consider. Every week, every Sunday it will consider. From this date, no? From 8th is Sunday, right? Again, next Sunday it will consider. It will not consider any holidays. To run this cycle, no, it will not consider any holidays. But if you want to, if you don't want, this is one process actually. Suppose no, if you wanted to consider the holidays also not to consider, that means this is MRP means mostly it will run in the weekends. Okay? Suppose let us say if you want to consider the holidays also, that is a different scenario. So when you are creating a what do you call batch jobs, no, that time I will show you whether do you want to consider the holidays or not. Okay? So in this case, no, it will not consider the holidays. It will what do you call it will generate the batch job every week, including holidays in this case. So there is a separate scenario. So the next I'm going to show you the batch job creation now. There I will show you if you want to consider if you don't want to consider the weekends, Saturday, Sunday will be there, right? If you don't want to consider the weekends, you cannot consider them. But in this case, it will consider, it will include holidays also.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So the next one is creating a batch job. This one. There is a transaction code SM36. Okay. Okay. This is the transaction code to create a batch job. Okay. So MRP. So let me say weekly per plant project. So this is the naming convention we can give. So once you enter this, click on the start condition. So here it will ask the program name. So here now start time, right? As I told you earlier, start immediately at data time after particular job after event. This I'll tell you. Right? So here now date and time. Suppose if you want to execute immediately, you can execute it similar to earlier one. If I select this date and time, no? So let us give some date and time. So let us say this I'm giving from tomorrow, Saturday, sometime 23, 25. From this date, it has to schedule start. So here now, same thing we have periodic values. If you click on the periodic values, same will come here also. So weekly or daily, this is a weekly batch we are getting. Select this weekly. Okay, it will highlight and save this. And now periodic job has been activated. Save and save it. Suppose there is a restriction. Suppose if you want to restrict this, you can see the conditions. So that you ask, right? You can see.
Yes.
Do not execute job on Sundays or holidays. So here we have some restrictions. So suppose if you want to consider the holidays or Sundays, whatever the normal days are, then you need to create a separate batch job by using this transaction. This is clear.
Yes.
You can see. Do not execute job on Sundays or holidays. These are the restrictions. Suppose if it is a holiday, no, you can move it to previous day or next day. There is multiple options are there. That is depending on the requirement. Suppose the next day is holiday. Suppose as per the schedule. So it has to either you want to move it to previous day or next day. So based on the required scheduling dates, if the next scheduling date falls under any public holidays, so automatically based on this settings, so if you select this, it will move to previous day. If you select this, it will move to the next day. Like this, we have different functions. So based on the requirement, no, we have to define this. Okay. So now, save. Now the next step is we have defined the schedule condition. What is the next step? If you go to the step, here it will ask you what is the program for this. So as a consultant, no, you should be knowing. We wanted to run MRP, right? We wanted to run MRP for this transaction. So when you are creating a batch job, right? So see, actually, no, they will ask this batch jobs will be created by the system by basis consultant in real time. Okay. To create the batch jobs by the basis consultant, no, as a functional consultant, we have to provide this batch job details in a template that I'll show you. Here it is. Generally, it consists job name in real time. No, project to project, this template will be might be slightly different. Okay. Most of the information will be same. Job name, program, variant, and schedule, date, and time. And here frequency. Okay. So this kind of template now will be having in the here we have to give the what is job name like MRP square weekly square 1000 for 1000. So this is our job name, and here we have to provide the program name, we have to provide the variant, we have to provide the date, start schedule, start date actually. This is start date, start date, and time and frequency. So here we have to provide these details. So let us say this is a so this time is 5, 0, frequency is 50. Along with this data, we have to provide this program name and variant. So how do we get this program name and variant? If we go to assembly 01 screen, okay, this is our MRP run screen, right? So from we wanted to execute this transaction data in the background. Okay, if you click on these systems, okay, there is a status. If you click on the status, it will show you the program for this particular transaction. Here there is a transaction code MD01, and for this program, sorry, for this transaction code, this is the program SAP MM 661. So select this program name. This program name, let it come, right? And here the variant means, so whatever the variants we have created earlier, right? Suppose with this now, if you want to create a variant, earlier we have created some variant, right? In MDPT we have created some variant now. So we can provide that variant MDPT. So here we have created our variant now. This variant we have. So transaction, these screens will be a little bit different. This is related to MRP. What I'm showing here is, okay. Suppose in future, no, if you wanted to execute a batch job for some other functionality, you can create. You have to provide the information in this form. Okay. What is your job name? What is the program? What is the variant you created? What is this? Suppose no, just another example, just to make it clear. I wanted to run a report like M60, not M60, MB51. So here now, if you click on this system, so you need to select this program. Okay. The process remains same. Okay. For any kind of transaction, if you want to run a batch job, you need to select the program name from here. So here, what are the input parameters? For example, I want to execute this program for this plant 1000, okay, and for a particular material, always example. So with this combination, I need to save. If I save it as, click save now, it will create one variant. Okay, that will be 50. So with this combination, system will generate one variant. So with this way, whenever I am sending these details to the base system, I need to provide that variant name here. So here now, whatever the variant is created, if you click on this now, you can get that variant name. That is the reason transaction, it is a little bit different. Okay. So for this transaction, I can get the variant list from here itself. But whereas for this MD50, MD01, I directly I cannot get in MD0. If I go to MDBT, I can get from there. Just to make you understand, I'm just showing it. Transaction, this is little bit different. Is this clear? How to create a variant? Okay. So once you provide this information to them, no, they will create this batch jobs by using this SM3600. Okay. So as a functional consultant, just you should be having some idea about this. So what is the program name for this MRP? This is our program name. Enter the program name. And what is the variant here? This is the variant. By referring this template data, basic people will create this. Once you enter this data, you need to check. Program can be scheduled. Oh, okay. Okay, okay. Since for this MD01, no, we have a direct functionality, right? Okay, good. So for this MD01, we cannot create a badge job. Okay. So for this MD01, we have to use this MD BT transaction. Okay. So from here on directly you can execute. For other MRP release, MD02 is this. For this, we have a program function. And the program is one second. Let me show there is the right position. Program should be there. So this is the program. But, I don't know why it is not coming there. But, this is the program. This I'll check and let you know. Why, actually from there only we have to find out. For this screen now, it is not coming properly. This I'll tell you. Okay. So this is the program. Okay. Set. It is fine. Set. Now with this program, this is a web program, and this is a variant. Okay. This is a with my user ID. I'm using this. If you double click on this, I go to variant. No? So these are the parameters. So with this combination, this batch job is going to execute. For this plant and this is a processing key, these are the other control parameters. What we have defined under this variant is test. Okay. So once I save this, okay, this batch job is released. Okay. Suppose once you release means this batch job is ready, already started executing. So to monitor this batch jobs, no, there is a transaction code. SM37. In this SM37, we need to give our badge job name. The user ID. If you know the user ID, you can give the user ID, or you can give the star. Okay. And from which date to which date you have started executing, you can give this. This badge job is released from today, and you can give the date as a 7. So started is 6, 7. And execute. This is our badge. Right? It is released just now. So once it is completed, it will update the status. And here now, it will show you how much time it has completed to complete this batch, finish this batch. Suppose if there are any errors, no, it will get cancelled. The status will show you as a cancelled. That means there might be some issues, due to some issues, no, the badge is getting cancelled. So by looking at the status, you should be coming to that. So in the real time, no, as a consultant, you should be knowing how to monitor this batch apps. So by using the transaction SM37, you need to monitor the batch apps. What are the batch apps are relevant for us? We need to monitor those batch apps on daily basis or weekly basis. That is depending on the batch apps what we have created. Is this clear? Any questions you have? So in this template, no, this is a sample template I show you. Most of the templates will be having this data. Along with this, no, there might be some client, the client numbers also will be there. Whether it is quality client or production client also will be there. If it is a development or quality, whatever it is. This data also. So most of the templates will be having this data. So in this template format, you have to provide the badge job details to the basis state. They will create and let you. Once the badge jobs have been scheduled, every day you need to monitor your badge jobs are based on the frequency by using the transaction SM37 and by giving your badge job number names as an input. Okay, so this is clear or any questions or doubts?
That program name you have shown, sir.
Yeah, that I'll tell you. Yeah, that I'll tell you. So that I told you, right? That I'll tell you how to get the program. Actually, no, from here on we'll get the program web, but for this, I'm not getting why. I'll let you know how to get this program for MRP, especially for MRP. I'll let you. For other screens, no, for the 7051 and all, no, we'll get the program from here itself. 51, all these things. That part I'll let you know. Why? Because no, for this MRP one, general MRP, mostly we'll get from here only. But I don't understand why it is not coming. That I'll check and let you. That is one thing. Apart
Is
from
that customer? My question was like, is that customizable or above as is we have to use that program name?
that program, eh? That program is
Program
name is,
name.
it is not customized. It is a standard program.
Because there were two program names. The program name like
Right?
screen, another was GUI. GUI.
No, that's not here. I was asking.
Yeah, in status.
I'll tell you. So this program you have to select actually. This is not this GUI program. So this program you have to select. Almost will be same the program names, okay, but we need to select this program. The screen program is, we need to select this, not this one. Okay. Any other questions? Is this clear? Concept is clear.